Good morning, everybody. My name is Amy Stoddard. I'm the Director of Sales at NCD. We also have Jameson Keller with us today. He's our Chief Commercial Officer, so he'll be great for any product questions that we might have. But we have a lot to cover today. So excited to be with you all, so we're going to jump right in. We're going to give you an overview of who NCD is, because I'm willing to bet we might not be that familiar with you guys just yet. I'll share with you some stats on why your clients need dental insurance. We'll, of course, do a deep dive into our product portfolio. We'll look at our sales portal, and then we will go over some tips and resources on how to effectively sell these products. So we'll jump right in. I start all of my presentations off with our mission statement, and I really do this for two reasons. One, you as an agent should absolutely feel this mission statement with each interaction you have with our team. And then second, which is probably more important to you, your clients will feel this with every interaction that they have. NCD exists to improve lives by driving better health, exceptional experience, and spreading the smile. And we really bring this mission statement to life in three different ways. By developing innovative products to serve the needs of your clients, by having what we call a relentless focus on member care, and then by providing what we hope you'll find as top-tier agent support. So a little bit more on each of those pieces before we dive into our products. When it comes to developing products, NCD might do things a bit differently than other carriers you're used to working with. So there's some logos up on your screen, and I would bet that a few of them are more recognizable to you. We've partnered with MetLife for our dental portfolio and VSP for our vision products. And so through that partnership, we've created some really robust, unique products for you to sell. Now, partnering with NCD means that you get instant brand equity, right? You recognize these logos, which means your clients do too. The second way we deliver our mission statement every day is through our world-class member care. A bunch of stats up there for you to see, but it's really to point out that we take great care of your clients. So if they happen to call in with questions, they're not going to sit on hold for long getting frustrated. Now, we also have a welcome call team that is there just to reach out to new members. So when you submit the application, our team will reach out, usually within about 3 business days, to make sure that they understand not only their benefits, but how to use their insurance. As you can imagine, a common reason that folks cancel insurance is because they don't understand either their benefits or how to use it. So our team is reaching out to make sure that they understand those things, which is really proactively helping your retention rate. And then the last thing I want to point out is our Google rating. So I think all of us in the insurance industry know that typically, if somebody's going to go to Google to leave a review, especially about an insurance company, it's usually not great things, right? I would encourage you after this to Google NCD. You're going to find some amazing reviews, which is really a testament to everything else that I've said here, right? We take great care of your members. So our world-class member care team provides happier clients for you, a great client experience, better retention, and we really want you to be able to submit the business and then forget about it. I know firsthand how frustrating it can be to add an ancillary product and then that becomes your headache. Let us take care of your clients. We do it really well. But we're there for you too. So the third way we deliver on our mission statement is through our agent support. We have a dedicated agent support team. This is separate from our welcome call team, separate from our member care team. They're there just for you. We also have an account executive team. So between those two teams, they're there for anything you need for onboarding, training, any sales materials, they're your go-to. All right, before hopping into our products, I want to spend just a minute talking about why your clients need dental insurance. I talk to agents every day, and I hear just a little too often that agents think of dental insurance as a nice to have rather than a need to have. And I want you to see it as a need to have. I think it probably makes sense that I don't need to tell you that a lack of dental insurance could probably lead to poor oral health, right? That makes sense. But what a lot of people don't think about is that poor oral health can lead to poor overall health and even financial stability. So here are a few studies to back up that statement. We see that poor oral health leads to an increased risk of cancer, a 2 times higher chance of developing high blood pressure, as well as a whole host of other health issues. But it doesn't just stop there. According to the CDC, over $45 billion is lost in productivity in the US every year because of untreated oral disease. So it's usually about this point where I'll have somebody say, I get it, poor oral health leads to poor overall health, but is this really impacting my clients? It turns out it probably is. 60% of adults over 65 are affected by periodontal disease. More than 1 in 4 adults have untreated cavities, and nearly half of those older than 30 are showing signs of gum disease. And 80% of adults that have unmet dental care cite cost as the reason for not receiving care. So I hope through those studies and statistics, you guys are aligned with me in the understanding and knowing that your client truly needs dental insurance for their oral health, overall health, and their financial wellness. So with that thought in mind, let's take a look at the products that you have available to you when you partner with NCD. We're going to take a look at our core plans and our elite plans, so 6 different dental options, and they have slightly different plan designs. So we're going to start high level and look at all the things that all 6 plans have in common, and then we'll look at our core plans followed by our elite plans. Here's our product availability map. No need to memorize this, it's just there for you to see. We have a really wide state footprint. Washington State is the only state that we do not have any products in. Those states in orange are vision only, but all of that blue that you see there has dental and vision. When it comes to the age of the applicant, the primary needs to be 18 years or older. So this does mean we don't have any child-only options, but there is dependent coverage available from birth on. We also do not have an upper age limit. So sometimes we'll see with certain plans, the plan does stop at a certain age. That's not true of these plans. The primary could be 20, 40, 60, 80. We don't care, they will receive coverage. They're all guaranteed issue, which as you know, makes for a very easy application. And our rates are area-based rates, so based on their zip code. Now, depending on their zip code and the plan that you choose, you're gonna find plans ranging in premiums from about $35 a month up to about $82 for that $10,000 annual max. All of these plans operate on the MetLife PDP Plus network. We'll go more into detail on that network here in a bit, but there are a lot of access points and a very high negotiated rate. And then lastly, they're all backed by the National Wellness and Fitness Association. Are you guys familiar with association-based plans? I'm seeing some nods, some no's. Okay, so logistically, this means when you're enrolling your client into an NCD dental or vision plan, you're also enrolling them into the National Wellness and Fitness Association. So they're gaining access not only to the dental and vision benefits, but a whole host of other benefits. There are a lot of logos up here, and that's not even all of the benefits. Again, something you don't need to memorize. Within our enrollment portal, I will show you where you can access these benefits. We'll also talk about some sales tips and tricks as far as how to most effectively sell an association-based plan. But just know that it's one application process. So you're enrolling them into their dental or vision plan. You're also simultaneously enrolling them into the NWFA. And it's one price. So when you go to quote your client, you're going to see the total price. That's inclusive of the dental and vision premium and the NWFA fee. And then lastly, it's a combined fulfillment. So they're going to get some emails during the fulfillment process, but when they get their hard dental card in the mail, they will also receive information on the NWFA. So one process. And we'll talk more about that here in a bit. All right, so let's jump into the plan design, and we'll start with our core plans. So our core plans have our value plan with a $750 annual max, essentials with a $2,000 annual max, and our complete plan is the $10,000 annual max plan. All of our plans are popular, but I will say that complete plan is very popular with agents and clients alike. It is really hard to find a $10,000 annual max dental plan in the individual market. So with all of these plans, the preventive services are going to be covered at 100% on day one, not subject to the deductible. That means your client can go in, get their cleaning and exam done before satisfying their deductible. Now you'll notice with our essentials and complete plans, it comes with 3 cleanings per year. Industry standard is 2, right? When we were building out these plans, we were taking into consideration agent and client feedback. Believe it or not, people want to go to the dentist more often. So when you enroll them in essentials or complete, they're going to get an additional cleaning each year. Preventive services are going to be cleanings, exams, bite wing x-rays, and fluoride for kids under the age of 14. When we look at our basic and major services on our core plans, you're going to find graded benefits. That means they get better with time. Your client is rewarded for staying in these plans long term. I won't read you all the co-insurance amounts. I know you can see them. It's also linked in our quoting portal, so you don't need to memorize those. Basic services are going to be full mouth x-rays, sealants and space maintainers for kids, simple extractions, fillings, and periodontal maintenance on our core plans. I want to call out periodontal maintenance because I get asked about deep cleanings all the time. So deep cleanings are a major service, which is industry standard, but periodontal maintenance on the core plans is going to be basic. So periodontal maintenance is often recommended for people who have had a deep cleaning. So on this plan, they're going to get that covered at basic service level with some higher coinsurance amounts. When we move into the major services category, that's going to be all the really big things, right? So oral surgery, crowns, endodontics, periodontics, dentures, denture repairs, anesthesia, and on our complete plan, implants. Okay, implants are a pretty popular service that we get asked about often. So let's spend just a moment on that. Again, that's with our complete $10,000 annual max plan. They will have implant coverage at $3,000 per year with that plan. I'm emphasizing the per year part because oftentimes implant coverage is a lifetime maximum. With our plans, it's a calendar year maximum. Let's talk waiting periods. You'll notice that on the value plan, there's a 12-month waiting period. I think that makes sense, right? If somebody needs major services, you're probably not going to put them in a plan with $750 annual max. For essentials and complete, there's not a waiting period. They will get some coverage on day one. It takes a huge jump in year two, and then it's going to top out at 60% for years 3 and beyond. Now, New York and Connecticut is a little bit different. Due to rules and regulations in New York and Connecticut, there is a 12-month waiting period for all 3 plans. But in most states, again, they're getting that coverage on day one. When it comes to the deductible, on our value and essentials plan, it's going to be $50 per member per year. With the complete plan, it's a lifetime deductible of $100. It's a great retention tool for you, right? They're going to satisfy that deductible between their basic and major services in year one. In all future years, they no longer have a deductible to satisfy. Okay, moving into our elite plans. Our elite plans have annual maximum options of $1,500, $3,000, and $5,000. Now with our elite product set, once you choose the annual maximum of $1,500, $3,000, or $5,000, the rest of the plan works the same. So with core, we saw a little bit of variation between the plan levels. With elite, it all works the same once you choose that annual max. Preventive services are going to be covered at 100% on day one, not subject to the deductible, and that is 2 cleanings and 2 exams per calendar year. Preventive services are going to be the same things as core, so cleanings, exams, bite wing x-rays, and fluoride for children. Basic services is going to be 80% on day one and for all future years. Basic services work the exact same as core with all the same things covered, with the exception of periodontal maintenance. So periodontal maintenance on our elite plans is going to fall to major services, which is the norm in the industry. On those major services for our elite plans, it's going to be exact same as core, all the really big things, right? So oral surgery, crowns, endodontics, periodontics, dentures, denture repairs, anesthesia, and implants. So implants are covered on all 3 levels of the plan. There is a waiting period with our elite plan for implants specifically. So there's a 2-year waiting period for implants. After that waiting period has been satisfied, your client will have 50% of the annual max to go towards implants. So that means if you enroll them into an elite 5,000, after their waiting period has been satisfied, they'll have $2,500 per year to use for those implants. The deductible for our elite plans is going to be $50 per member per year, and we do have a $150 max for the family. So if you're enrolling a large family, that is definitely a benefit of the elite plans. It will cap at $150 for the deductible. All right, so let's look a little bit closer at our network. I did mention earlier it's the MetLife PDP Plus network. Very solid network. MetLife is a very trusted name. Who's heard of MetLife before? Lots of hands, right? Agents know MetLife, clients know MetLife, dentists certainly know the MetLife name. So a really vast network, over 400,000 access points. I'll show you the provider lookup tool. It's linked from the quoting portal, very easy to use. But the thing I want to point out is the high negotiated rate. So on average, when your client uses an in-network provider through the MetLife PDP Plus network, they're going to save 35 to 50% off of the normal billed rate. So that's applied before the coinsurance that we just looked at kicks in. It's a huge savings for them. Now we do find that a little network education goes a long way with your client. You really are going to help them maximize this plan, and it's really true of all insurance and dental plans, if they stay in network. They can go out of network, that's certainly a choice, but they're just going to pay more. So let me give you a couple of examples. Just so we're all clear on the differences, right? We have in-network coverage, which, as you know, the dentist has agreed to a lower pre-negotiated rate. When you go out of network, the dentist has not agreed to that rate. So the insurance is going to pay based on the MAC rate, so the maximum allowable charge. Ultimately, this means going in-network provides lower out-of-pocket costs. Out-of-network is going to be higher. So here's the example that I wanted to show you guys. I'll give you two. We'll go with one kind of a preventive service and then a major service. Let's say your client needs a cleaning and an exam, and they go to an in-network provider. The normal billed rate for that cleaning and exam in this hypothetical example is $100. The negotiated rate is $70. Well, the plan's going to kick in and it pays 100% for that in-network provider. It's going to pay $70. The client pays $0. If they go out of network for the same cleaning and exam, it's $100. There is not a negotiated rate, so the plan's going to pay the same, $70, which means the client would be balance billed $30. Okay, so that's a small example, but let's look at what happens when they need major work. So in this, again, hypothetical example, your client needs a crown, okay, and that crown is $1,000. They go to an in-network provider. The negotiated rate has been dropped down to $600 for that crown. If we're in year 2 and we'll assume the deductible has been satisfied, that means the plan kicks in, pays 50%, so $300 in this case, and your client pays the remaining 50% or $300. But what about if they go out of network? Here's where they're going to feel a pretty big difference. The crown's going to be the same cost, $1,000. We know there's not a negotiated rate, so the plan's going to pay the same to that out-of-network provider that it would have to the in-network provider, and then the client's going to be balance billed the rest. Okay, so yes, your client can go out of network, but the short answer is you don't want them to, right? You want to maximize and capitalize on that in-network negotiated rate to save them out-of-pocket costs. I won't spend too much time on this, but I do have agents ask quite a bit, okay, you have 6 different plans. How do I know which plan is the right plan? And really, I would say just keep it simple. What's their main need? You're going to find a whole range of products. You guys saw an annual max of $750 all the way up to $10,000. So it's really, what does the client need it for? If they're just looking for preventive care, you saw all of our plans are going to work great, right? It's 100% coverage for preventive care. You might lean on their budget for that one. If they need basic needs, you're going to dig a little bit more and find out what that is. You saw 80% coinsurance for Elite. If they need major work, the first objective is finding a plan that has a high enough annual max to cover that work and any other work that they need. So you might look at the Elite 3,000, 5,000, or Complete plan. If they need implants, I'll quiz the audience here. What would you guys choose for implants? We had 4 plans. We had Complete, and then we had our Elite plans. Complete. Yeah, Complete is the right answer. There's no waiting period on implants. Highest annual max, right? If you have a budget-conscious person, you're going to be looking at value. And then care for the whole family, you might look at our Elite plan because we see that annual deductible max out. So something for everyone, keeping their core need in mind is best practice. We're going to touch just briefly on vision insurance. This is going to be just a couple of minutes because you'll find that attaching vision is a really quick add-on, right? You've already talked about dental. Vision is very quick to add on. Just a couple of reasons why you want to talk to your client about vision insurance. We see through some studies that eye exams actually identify a lot of early warning signs for other health issues. A number of things can be caught through an annual eye exam. We know that glaucoma is one of the leading causes of irreversible blindness in the US. Now, right now, there's not a cure for that, but early detection can allow for treatment, right? So getting your client in early will help with that. And then lastly, we see that 93 million Americans are at high risk for serious vision loss, but only half have visited an eye doctor in the last year. You don't want your clients to be part of that half, right? Get them a good vision plan so they can go in and help out with their overall health. So as you guys saw earlier, for our vision plan, we've partnered with VSP. VSP Preferred is available in all of the states except for Oregon. I'm from Oregon, so I can say we like to be a little more difficult. But all other states have VSP Preferred. Now you'll notice VSP Preferred, you're probably familiar with VSP. This is a different plan design than any other VSP plan that you may be familiar with. So let's talk about the plan design with VSP Preferred. With this plan, your client will go in and have a $20 copay for their eye exam. From there, if it's determined that they need glasses, they will have a $200 frame allowance every 24 months. Their standard, so single vision, lined, bifocal, lined, trifocal lenses will be covered after a $25 materials copay. They get a whole host of lens enhancement discounts, but if they need progressive lenses, that's going to be covered after an additional $50 copay. If you're taking notes right now, that's something you want to highlight. $50 copay for progressive lenses. That is a huge benefit of this plan. Progressive lenses, for those of you who may not know, remove the lines in those bifocals. It's a very, very popular style of lens, and typically, even with vision insurance, your client's going to pay about $175 or more for that style of lens. Again, with VSP Preferred, that's covered after an additional $50 copay. If your client wears contacts, they can choose to use this plan for contacts instead of glasses. They're going to get a $150 allowance for those contacts every year. So a really solid plan. There's a lot of other discounts that come alongside this plan. It is the VSP network, which is a really vast network. We don't see clients having any issues finding an in-network provider. All right, so usually I hop into our portal live to go through a demo. Is that going to ruin the flow here? We can do it at the end. Okay. So when you contract with NCD, you get an enrollment link. Jameson, do you happen to know the 6?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember the .com? It looks like the slide deck is what's actually shared.
Okay, let's see. So do we need to do something different in Zoom?
No.
They'll be able to see this.
The Zoom feed's struggling, so good thing we recorded.
Okay, sounds good. So when you partner with NCD, you get a Pearl, enrollment.ncd.com/youragentid. So let me walk you through how quick and simple it is to quote and enroll. So you're going to start with the zip code. And actually, before I pull up the quote, a couple of things to point out here. Upper left-hand corner is where you're going to find that MetLife PDP provider lookup tool. When you open it up, a new tab opens up. You do your search. It's going to allow you to search by zip code or by provider. And then there's a bunch of other filters from there that you can apply. This is all going on in a separate tab, so it's very easy to hop back right over to the quoting portal. So you can see 75001. There's going to be about 14,000 providers. You might narrow that down to a smaller radius. So we'll pop back over to our portal here. We'll select quote. It asks if you're looking for dental coverage. We'll select yes. Then it asks about vision coverage. So you can quote and enroll in dental only, vision only, or a combination of the two. For now, we'll just do dental only. Then it asks who you're looking to cover. So member, member plus spouse, member plus children, or family. We'll select member. And then it's going to display the plans. So the core plans are going to be on top, followed by the elite plans. Now, if you can't remember co-insurance amounts, you're just simply going to click on View Details. It's going to give you everything you need to know from within our quoting portal. If you want full product brochures, you can open those up as well. So we'll select our complete plan here. Shows us our total monthly cost. We could begin the application if we're ready. If we want to learn more about those NWFA benefits that I mentioned, you would click here. A new tab is going to open up. And it's going to show you all of the benefits that come with that complete plan. So again, you can see long scrolling screen here. There are a lot of benefits. And I'll touch on this again in a minute here, but my best piece of advice is scroll through these, get to know a couple of those, because that's what you're going to use to weave into your sales pitch. So back here to our portal, we'll begin the application. It's going to ask for basic demographic. Address, phone number, zip code. We do get asked quite a bit if Social Security or ITIN is required. It is not, as you can see here. Now, the phone number that you put on the application is the phone number that will receive a confirmation text. The email address is the email address that will receive a confirmation email. Once you submit that, it comes to the payment information. We do accept ACH and credit and debit card. We say that ACH is preferred because, as you know, ACH is not going to expire, right? You don't want the credit card or debit card to expire. So ACH is preferred, but for this, we'll go with a credit card. Then we come to the overview screen. So here you're going to choose the product effective date. It's always going to default to the first of the following month. You can enroll up to 2 months in advance. The first billing date will default to the date of the application. Best practice is to leave that, right? Because sometimes clients will forget that they've authorized this, and if you put it through 2 weeks later, they might forget about that charge. But there is some free way for you here to change. So let's say they don't get paid or benefits to a certain day, you can bump that out anytime before the effective date. So if we're going with an April 1st effective date, it could be between now and the 31st. We'll leave as is, click confirm. We come to our agreement screen and we select purchase. So that's the whole process. It's very quick. You're going to see almost immediately here that we see it's gone through, and then shortly after it will show the member ID. Very quick process there. Let me go back to our slides here. All right, so that took what, 2 to 3 minutes. Once you've done it once, it's a very, very quick process. Let's talk a little bit about what happens after you push submit on that application. Within minutes, your client is going to receive a confirmation text, again, to the phone number that you put on the application. About an hour later, they'll receive a confirmation email. Within 24 hours, they receive a welcome to NCD email. And then 7 to 10 business days after you've submitted the application, they're going to get that hard ID card in the mail, along with some other fulfillment information, including the NWFA. All right, so sales tips and resources. I'm going to run you through some best practices that we've learned from some of our top agents and brokers. Then we'll spend time going over any questions that you might have about product. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay? Okay. Since we have time, I'm going to share a quick story that always makes me think about cross-selling. Do we have any parents out here? Parents? I see parents, okay. I'm a parent. I have 2 kids. They're now 13 and 15, but it doesn't seem like that long ago when they were really little. If you've been around kids, you know that they like 2 things. They like something sweet, and they like to get their way, right? So when my kids were little, I found myself having this battle every morning. They wanted something sweet for breakfast. I wanted them to have something that was healthy and nutritious. It was this back and forth. I'd give them the eggs and fruit, and they would grumble, right? So I kept thinking, there has to be a better way. I can't have every morning be a battle, frustration, some bribery involved, some tears, theirs and mine. And then I had an idea to try rainbow pancakes. So they were excited because they got a plate of pancakes. I'll say they weren't quite as pretty as these. But they got pancakes that looked amazing, right? So they got the sweet thing and they got what they wanted. I was happy because the green pancakes, full of spinach, yellow had turmeric in it, the red pancakes were beets. These pancakes were chock full of healthy things. So we went from this battle of they wanted something sweet, I wanted to have something healthy, to really a win-win solution. They got the rainbow pancakes and I was happy. And a couple years later, I thought about that and I've realized I've applied what I would call the rainbow pancake principle to a lot. And I think it applies to sales and cross-selling because that's what you need to do for your client, right? Create a win-win solution. You know they need dental insurance. If they really thought about it, they probably know they need it too, but it's all in how you present it, right? So you need to present it in a way that's gonna show them the value with what they already align with, right? And you can start that win-win solution very early in the process in discovery. So the thing about dental insurance is that most clients aren't going to bring it up unless they have a toothache, right? If they already have something going on, they may bring it up. Most clients aren't going to bring it up. You have to ask the question. And so during your normal discovery process, you're already asking them a lot of questions, right? You're probably asking about their primary care physician, any prescriptions that they might take. That's the time to start asking some questions so that you can have a win-win solution for them and they see it as a win-win solution. So some questions that you can ask when you're already asking about their primary care physician and prescriptions. Do you go to the same dentist every 6 months for your cleanings and exams? That's gonna accomplish a couple things with one question. One, you're gonna find out just how comfortable they are even talking about dental insurance, right? Some people are very scared of the dentist. And two, it's gonna let you know if you need to look for a certain provider when it comes time to find the right plan for them. It's also foreshadowing a little bit, right? So you're bringing it up early, you're letting them know you're gonna talk about this later after you solve their core health insurance. Another question you can ask is it more important for you to stay with the same dentist or possibly switch dentists to save the most amount of money? Again, you're asking this question so you know when you present the plan to them if you need to go with a certain network to align with their current provider. So you're asking questions early, you're foreshadowing a little bit. This is also when you can start to kind of tee up the association. So we all know that our dental plans come with this association. There is a lot of value that comes with those benefits. You want your clients to see that benefit, right? They're gonna get fulfillment information that says NWFA. You want them to be like, yes, Jameson told me all about this. I need to log in, register, because I'm getting this benefit, right? So during the discovery, you're already getting to know your client, right? You're just building a relationship with them. They're gonna tell you about things like, I have upcoming travel, or my son or daughter is playing this sport. You might, if you're on the phone, hear a dog barking in the background. All of these lifestyle situations and things you're already doing to build relationship with your client, you're taking note of because it's gonna help you wrap in the association. So one of my favorite ones is if you hear a dog barking in the background, after you've done your dental pitch and you've pitched the complete plan, it's as easy as, now Jameson, the complete plan that we just talked about enrolling you in comes with that $10,000 annual max, all the amazing dental benefits. It also comes with an association, and I know you're gonna love it. I heard your dog barking in the background. When you get your NWFA fulfillment kit in the mail, log in, take a look at the spot pet insurance discount. I think you'll really like that benefit. There's a lot of others too, but that one I think you'll like in particular. So you're choosing one or two of the association benefits, talking about it during the sales call, so that they're getting familiar and hearing it, right? And you're building that overall value, that win-win solution, and showing it as something that they truly, they need, but highlighting it in a way that they've already told you that they need it, right? A few more things on the NWFA because we do get a lot of questions. Again, we tend to see agents that want to shy away from the association. I would say that's a mistake. You want to leverage it. There are some awesome benefits there. Get to know a few. Flip side of that, don't over-explain it, right? If you start going through each and every one of those logos that you saw on the screen, you're gonna lose them. Pick a few and highlight it, and then let them know they will get a lot more information. So you're setting those proper expectations. We have a bunch of resources to help you sell. We've touched on some of them. I've touched on some of them today, but we have a whole agent launchpad that has all of our marketing materials. There's sales tools, a bunch of things there, so we'll make sure you have that resource. We have an agent support team that's there. They answer calls very quickly, emails very quickly, any questions you might have. We have a couple new resources that we're launching on our launchpad. We have a whole sales playbook as well as a content calendar. So no shortage of resources, and we'll make sure the team has them. All right, so let's see, we have plenty of time. I would love to hear any questions you guys might have about NCD, any of the products, the NWFA. As I mentioned, we have Jameson here. He's gonna help answer questions. I also saw Sam pop in. So open it up to you guys. What kinds of questions do you have either about dental insurance in general, the products we talked about, NCD? Yeah.
Are these age restricted at all, like under 65, over 65?
Great question. No, they're not. So the primary applicant, the only restriction is the primary applicant needs to be 18 years or older. Yeah.
Someone coming off a group plan when they're retiring has had dental insurance. Are any of these waiting periods waived if they can document prior coverage?
We don't have proof of prior coverage. I will just remind the group here that with the exception of the value plan that has a 12-month waiting period, all of our other plans do have coverage on day one. So
Yeah, but obviously it's kind of weak for a crown in the first
yeah,
year.
they get 10% in year one. In that case, I would definitely say in-network provider is for sure where they want to go, right? They're capitalizing on that, on average, 30 to 50% off of the crown, and then the co-insurance kicks in. So the key thing about that negotiated rate is that it's really high, right? So there are some networks that aren't quite that high, which won't save the client that much before the co-insurance kicks in. Quiet group. Jameson.
Are email addresses required at all?
No, they're not required. The application will go through without. We do recommend it because they get a lot of great information with their email address provided.
I may have missed this, but is there an annual premium increase?
Jameson, you want to talk to the premium increase? There's. Do you want the mic?
I'm gonna need a mic.
He's
I
going
think.
for the mic.
Well, it's for the video.
Got it.
So the question was, is there an annual premium?
I don't know if it's on.
Gotcha.
You push it one more time.
Tap
There we go.
Now it works. So the question was, is there an annual premium increase on the product? So we don't guarantee any premium increases or lack of increases on the product overall. We watch the loss ratios on the product and make sure that whatever we're doing with it is ultimately the minimum necessary to keep the product strong so your clients stay on board and so that the plan continues to exist in a stable manner. Oftentimes, we will see a premium increase around month 13 or so, but that hasn't been a guarantee across the life of the product. What I can tell you is we have never done a premium increase on someone who has been on the plan for less than 12 months. So while we don't have an official rate guarantee for 12 months because that locks us into something, we have in our history never done any form of an increase on somebody for less than 12 months. We just don't feel that's right.
How would it coordinate with somebody on, let's say, an Advantage plan with some limited dental?
Fantastic. So how would it coordinate on something like, say, an Advantage plan? This plan does have coordination of benefit rules. What I can tell you is that coordination of benefits industry-wide is one of the most complex topics you can ultimately get to. And so I can't give you a direct answer to that question without knowing more details about the situation. But the general kind of high-level rule of thumb is that the older plan is the secondary plan. All right, so if you were on a Medicare Advantage plan that included dental and you've been on that for 5 years, and you signed up on NCD a year ago, your Medicare Advantage plan will be primary, and then we will come in as your secondary. In some cases, depending on the type of plan that the other product was, it may not coordinate, meaning waits and sees what the other plan paid before it then pays. It'll just pay as though it's the only plan that's out there, and somebody could end up with total coverage on their product. So what I would tell you is because there's so many little potential variables, the best thing you can do is look at the certificate based on the specific situation that you're in, as well as Amy has built some really cool tools that give you kind of high level, hey, if it's this type of situation, here's what it will look like. And so we can provide those to you.
What other questions are on your mind? Yeah.
What's the chargeback time frame look like? Like if somebody goes on the plan, uses a bunch of dental, and then cancels the plan for whatever reason, or doesn't pay their premium, how long are they responsible for those?
So I would point you towards your upline, Agent Boost, in order to talk about commissions. But I would tell you that normally,
Not my chargeback, the chargeback to the customer.
oh, okay, great question. We don't charge back to the customer. As long as they are paid up for a month, they get that month's worth of benefits. So if they're on board for 3 months and somehow they manage to spend $10,000 in benefits and they disenroll on month 4, they got $10,000 worth of benefits. Now I would ask you all, we're all in the insurance business. We all know how this stuff works. If you want plans to stick around and you want plans to be able to sell, don't do this. That ends up being bad for you in the long run and good for one client in the short run.
Yeah.
Where can we access those tools for coordination care?
Where can you access the coordination and benefit tools?
Document.
Yeah, we'll send them over and then you'll have access. Yeah, it's
Put
just
that in there in our community hub with this presentation.
perfect.
Amy, is that on our launch pad?
No,
Okay.
we'll
so
send it
just
separately.
so everybody's aware, and we can get it out to you, we also have the agent launch pad. ncd.com/agents has tons and tons of information for you guys to help you sell. From marketing materials to benefits highlight sheets to the actual certificates of coverage, all sorts of good stuff at your fingertips.
Go ahead.
If somebody has like an Allstate dental
Mhm.
and they want to go with this company, does it just automatically cancel the Allstate or how does that?
No.
Okay, so they cancel the Allstate and then go with this, or do they work together?
They're not going to coordinate together. So our plans will coordinate with an MA plan, but it will not coordinate with another standalone dental.
Hold on, that's not always true. So check the coordination of benefits. As far as the question you were asking though, about will it cancel the other plan? This doesn't work like the Medicare Advantage or prescription drug world. All right, it's more like Med Sup. So they would have to cancel their other policy if they chose to cancel their other policy, or they can choose to keep it.
And I should say, I can speak from our perspective that we're not going to coordinate with an Allstate plan, but they may require information about the NCD plan. That is what you would want to check on. Yes.
Can you talk about the implants on the complete?
Mhm.
You said there's a 10,000 limit. Of that 10,000, how much is actually utilized towards the implants?
Yeah, great question. So he's asking about the implant limitations on the complete plan. So the complete plan has the $10,000 annual max. For implants, they have a $3,000 annual max to use for implants. I did say annual, it's not lifetime, so that does reset, but that leaves plenty of additional annual max for them to go get any other service that they need during that year. If they need implants, they probably have some other things going on too. So plenty of annual max left over for that. Thank you for the question. What else is on your mind? Way in the back.
Wisdom teeth, is it major or basic?
Major.
Wisdom teeth with every plan is going to be considered a complex oral surgery. And so that's almost always a major service. One thing that I want to call out, just because some of the questions that you guys have asked so far, which are great questions, is going back to that network discount is very, very important. So if we use the $3,000 limit towards implants on the complete plan that was brought up, all right, most people think, oh, that's not really a lot towards implants. It actually is if you start looking at how the plan works. The biggest misunderstanding in the dental insurance world is that people don't think about the network discounts. They think about just the co-insurance portion of it. All right, this is why it's so important to understand that the network discount takes off a lot of the cost up front that you would normally be thinking of before your co-insurance is applied. So that implant may be, $3,000 normally, but in our in-network discount, maybe it's really only a $2,000 network cost under the network, which means that then, after your 50% co-insurance, only $1,000 is actually going towards your overall maximum. So we have a question coming from the CEO of NCD in the back of the room.
Can you talk about the agent support SLAs we have and what that looks like?
I was hoping somebody would ask me that question. This is one of my favorite things to talk about because I've been in the industry a very long time. I've seen, and a lot of it was on the Medicare side of the house. And so Medicare customer service is really good. 90% of calls have to be answered in under 30 seconds. All right, at least the SLAs are solid. Agent support, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. When I came over to this world on the ancillary side of the house, I learned SLAs don't exist, service level agreements, they don't exist. It's normal to wait on hold for 10 or 15 minutes to get the phone answered if you're a client. That's insane, all right? So when I came to the company, Sam and our member care team had done a beautiful job at ensuring that all calls are answered in under 30 seconds, that we're doing a phenomenal job for the clients. He then asked us, he said, what can we do overall for the agents? And so we started to put together what's the best possible service we can do for you guys. So let me ask the room, what is a reasonable amount of time to return an email that you send a carrier? 24 hours. That's the common answer that I get. We think that's too long, all right? We will answer all of your emails that you send to us in business hours in 1 hour or less. We have hit that every single week for the last 18 weeks running. We had one little blip where one email went 5 minutes over, but 18 weeks running, all right, we've hit that every single time. We answer all of your calls in under 30 seconds, all right, by a live human being, not a press 1 for this, press 2 for that. It's, hi, my name's Robin, I'm with NCD Agent Support, how can I help you today? And those folks are empowered to make sure that they're taking care of you. They are your advocate into the organization to ensure you get questions answered, you have any needs handled. If you have a problem, which problems happen, right? All right, if you have a problem, they're there to help you solve it. They want to make sure you look good to your client. So we work very hard to ensure that the agent support team is not only fast for you, but also that they're effective for you. And if you reach out to us after hours via email, you get an auto response that says, hey, we're not here. All right, we're going to get you first thing in the morning. But if you need help tonight, if it's urgent, here's a cell phone number of somebody you can call. So you have access to NCD effectively 24/7. Yes, sir.
One more question. Can you show us the smile feed and tell us what that is?
Absolutely. Are you able to access that here?
It's not my computer, so it's
not our
not, we're not on
computer,
our
so we
network.
can't actually show the smile feed, but we can talk about it. We use Microsoft Teams at NCD, and so we have a Teams channel that's the entire company called the Smile Feed. And this is something that really gets us excited every single day and keeps the energy flowing, because we're constantly getting reviews from our clients and our agents, whether they're Google reviews, where we're at 4.9 stars, we're the highest rated insurance company of any kind on Google, or whether they're shopper approved or their internal customer satisfaction reviews. We get reviews constantly. And so we're constantly popping those reviews into this smile feed for all of us to see and to pull energy from, saying, Robin did a phenomenal job. Ken really took care of me today. You guys have just saved my husband's life because he was having a severe infection that was going to affect something else, and you guys have been able to provide him proper oral care, and we can actually afford it. We get to see this stuff every single day, and it's what we really feed off of. All right? NCD truly exists to spread the smile. We want to do things differently in the insurance world and not just be an insurance carrier. We want to be someone that people are like, I really love that company. All right? That's the best service I've ever had. We actually just had a situation recently where we learned there are some clients that specifically call in and ask, hey, can I speak to Faith? Can I speak to Hope? All right, some various folks that we have in our member care department. When's the last time you called your insurance company and said, can I talk to a specific person because they do such a great job? All right, that's what we strive for every single day. And the whole purpose of that is so that you guys can do exactly what Amy said. You can sell it and forget it. We don't want you to sell a Medicare Advantage policy and then sell them a dental policy, and then that dental policy royally screws up, all right, and then you lose the dental policy and they lose faith in you, so you lose the Medicare Advantage policy. That was something we heard 4 years ago happens in this business, and we said, absolutely not. We're going to be here to support you. We're going to be here to make sure that we are making sure your recommendation is strong and the clients believe in everything that you've told them because we upheld what you just sold them.
Yeah.
Sorry if you talked about it and I missed it, but what about orthodontics?
Orthodontics is not covered on our plans.
Yes, ma'am.
You guys already
Can you pull that map up real fast,
Yep,
Amy?
I sure can. Sorry, we'll have to.
So we are in 43 states for dental, 49 states for vision. The only state we have no benefits in is Washington State. We're working on that, but Washington is a challenge.
There we go.
Here we go. If it is orange, we only have vision. If it's blue, we have everything. So it should be pretty easy to sell. And here's the fun part. In all but New York and Connecticut, it's the exact same product across all states. All right, it's not California has this and Nevada has this. Same products across all states. New York and Connecticut are a little bit different because they say major services has to be 0 or above 50. All right, so we can't do a 10% coverage in year 1 on major services in New York and Connecticut. We have to do 0%. One of the biggest reasons we do that 10%, by the way, is it forces the dentist to actually have to send the claims to the carrier. And when they do that, it forces the network discount. That way the client is getting the best possible price. All right, that network discount, I touched on it earlier, is so important, you guys. If you go and look at some of the other carriers out there, there's one carrier that I won't name them, but they have a very, very large network. In fact, most people say, oh yeah, everybody takes this particular dental carrier. The reason for that, all right, is because they have a normal network that's normal size, but then their big giant network has a 3 to 5% network discount, meaning you're really paying street prices. You don't really get much actual benefit out of it beyond just your co-insurance. Versus NCD averages 35 to 50% off. Some of your other carriers are 20 to 40% off. So that network discount is a huge part of the benefits that people need to truly understand. Was that the hook that I saw over there? Were you waving us on?
No.
Oh, okay. I saw something out of the corner of my eye.
Nope, you've got about 10 more minutes.
Awesome. What other questions do you guys have? Anybody here work with a primarily Spanish-speaking community or a community that oftentimes doesn't have a social security number? I see a couple of hands coming up. That's something else. Amy touched on it earlier, but just to really kind of hone in on that for a second, we don't require social security numbers. We don't require ITIN numbers. We don't care what your immigration status is when it comes to purchasing dental insurance. All right, this isn't a government-funded program. If anyone cares about their oral health and wants help at the dentist, wants to have a great oral health care program, and they want to pay the premiums, we are more than happy to bring them on board. So you guys get paid for all of that. Yes, sir.
Are there restrictions on changing plan change?
Yes. You want to cover this? Or you want me to?
Up to you.
All right. So if you upgrade in your plan, your benefits reset as far as your time in the plan. So you start from day 1. So if you go from the $2,000 plan to the $10,000 plan and you were in year 3 of your plan, you're going to start over at day 1. If you downgrade the plan, you get to keep your time in service. Okay? That prevents people from selling the $35 plan saying, hey, wait it out for a year and then you can bump up to the $10,000 plan and at year 2 benefits. All that does is seeks to raise premiums for everybody. Our goal is to keep premiums as stable as possible for your clients so that they don't see rate increases. And when they do see them, they're very small. Any other questions? All right, Amy, you did a fantastic job up here today. All right, how about a round of applause for Amy and her presentation?
Well, thanks for the questions.
Hey guys, just to
Did it turn off?
He turned it off.
I didn't touch the switch.
batteries in. Hey, just to give you guys a little context, a couple things why we like these guys. Obviously, they're very customer service focused. I personally have sold dental policies before where they ended up being much more of a detriment and caused some friction points, you know, for a small commission. And then, like he'd mentioned there towards the end, really frustrated my customers. We know these guys aren't like that. Another thing I really like about them, you know, their CEO, Sam, we're going to do a podcast with him today. You guys will all want to listen to it. But he's one of the brightest minds, in my opinion, not only, you know, just in dental insurance space, but in the industry at large with what's going on in the Medicare side of things, on the ACA side of things. And so what I really like about these guys is the leadership and how they can place their products and layer in a smart, intelligent way that takes into account all the broader macro things that are going on in the industry. So phenomenal leadership, great customer service focus, and you guys will be seeing and hearing more from us on this product. Okay?
Hey, can I add really quick, and then Sam, you're not gonna get off the hook. Why don't you come take center stage for
All right. Hey, the one thing that I did really want to convey to you all that I think is really important, and I'll let Sam kind of introduce himself and kind of, you know, convey his message and his background to you all, though, is the industry is getting more challenging, right? I mean, the environment that we're in 2025 and moving forward is just a challenging dynamic. And it doesn't matter if you're selling Medicare products as your core product, you're selling ACA products, it doesn't matter. Margins, profitability is getting squeezed. There's a lot more regulations. There's challenges to marketing, to how we conduct business. So there really, to be candid, is a lot of headwinds in the industry. And that's not to say that it's not a good industry or there's not a lot of opportunity, because as things get challenging, those organizations and those salespeople who are really nimble are going to continue to win. And so one of the things that the challenges that we have is finding not only the way to navigate that system, but is also finding carriers, partners, and products that we think are going to be successful in that environment too. So part of that is our belief in, you know, NCD, their leadership, their team, and thinking that, you know, if they're building the products, we have confidence in their team and something that's going to be viable and sustainable, and that's the reason that we're presenting it to you. And I would second that to saying, you know, we as a company feel that whenever we pull people off the phones, out of the field, whatever it is that you're doing, there's a cost to that, right? I mean, it's whether you're making $20, $25 an hour base, commissions, opportunity costs for policies sold, or you're out in the field, whatever it is that you were doing by being here in this room or attending the training, we as an organization thought that that was valuable enough to spend your time doing it, okay? So I just want to convey that message to you all and understand the why and the how behind it. So, you know, with that, I will let Sam, who's, you know, we're excited to have as a guest, kind of, you know, more introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about the background. So.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Sam Melamed. I live in Silver Spring, Maryland with my wife Pam and our 4 kids. And I spent many years actually studying to be a rabbi before I dropped out at the last minute and was really flailing around trying to figure out how am I gonna make a living. I got married young, we got pregnant right away, and someone said, let me teach you how to sell insurance. And so I got started selling insurance, no college degree, and I was the actual worst. Like I really couldn't do it. And you know, the early days we were we were hanging flyers for dialysis, flyers for final expense and dialysis clinics, and driving to Denny's 2 hours away to talk to people, and just really struggling to figure out. And one thing that happened that was really impactful for me back then was I started a website called Insurance Forums. And I didn't start it to be a business. I really started it just to figure out, why am I so bad at this? And I know there's people making a living doing this, but I couldn't find the way. And it took a few years of real struggle. And I was fortunate, I had a very supportive wife, but also I had a daughter, and so I couldn't give up. And not giving up is really the only thing that matters in this industry. If you don't give up and you keep at it every day, you grow your knowledge, you learn a little bit more, you attend an event, you speak to agents, and you just stick with it, anything is possible. That is the great thing about the insurance industry. You don't need a college degree, you don't need any fancy pedigree, you just need to keep working hard and to not give up. And so I can't believe my life right now that I get the privilege of working with so many talented people at NCD, and we get to live our mission every day, which is to spread the smile. That is our delight. That's what we love to do, and we love to spread the smile to your customers. I am a huge insurance nerd and really appreciate the Hartles podcast and their posting online. I've learned a lot more over the last year from them than pretty much anyone else, because they're out there every week putting out content. The thing about putting out content is it forces you to learn, because you can't just talk for an hour and a half every week unless you're actually putting in the work and trying to learn. And so that's the last thing I would leave you with is lifelong learning in our industry. It has never been easier to accumulate amazing knowledge and expertise. It's all out there. You can go on insurance forums, you can go on the Facebook groups, you can work with an FMO who's holding education all the time, or you can watch the podcast, you can take notes, you can actually be a student of the industry, and then the sky's the limit. So really appreciate you having us and the NCD team. Always great to see Amy and Jameson in action. So I appreciate that opportunity. And let's go spread the smile together.